Let me just run through these numbers real quick. So CPI rising month over month, 0.2%. That is double what was estimated. However, that was double the prior month, but better than estimated. Core numbers, excluding food and energy, also coming in with a gain of 0.2% here. That is better than estimated. In other words, we are seeing a more moderate pace of inflation on both the headline and the core than had been estimated on a month-over-month basis. Year over year, seeing headline inflation rise 3.0% and seeing core inflation, excluding food and energy, up by 4.8%. So overall, this showing some welcome news for consumers here in the United States, that we are seeing this pace moderate a little bit.
Yeah, and a couple of the themes that are going to continue to come up in discussions today here, context around this, the index for shelter, that has remained sticky here, to say the least. The index for shelter, largest contributor to the monthly all items increase, that accounted for over 70% of that increase. And then the index for motor vehicle insurance also contributing. You mentioned food index as well. That increased about 0.1% in June after increasing 0.2% versus the previous month. So some moderation there in a good way there. And then the energy index too, something that a lot of consumers out there paying close attention to here this summer. That rose 0.6% in June as the major energy component indexes were mixed here as well, Julie. So
yeah, another big area of focus was on used cars and trucks, seeing a decline there of 0.5% month over month. New vehicles flat, no change there. But we're going to dig much more into the vehicle picture a little bit later on. I'm just scanning through some of the other numbers here, seeing a big decline in gas service, utility service, that is, not gasoline, but rather natural gas, down by 1.7%. So that's one of the areas where we're seeing improvement, and fuel oil down 0.4%, although in the summer months you're not seeing as much of a use for fuel oil. But gasoline prices, as you've pointed out, are seeing a gain. 1.0% was the gain there. And I'm just looking to see if there are any other areas where we're seeing big increases. Not really seeing a lot of other large increases here on a month-over-month basis.
Yeah, just lastly, before we get some of our guests involved in this conversation too, taking a look at the futures here this morning, as we are still just a little over an hour out from the start of trade here on the day. We're taking a look at the futures. We've got them here on your screen for you. We're higher across the board as of right now. Fractional gains for the Dow and the S&P 500 up by about 0.5%, a little more than that. For the Dow, the S&P 500 still up by about 0.75%. We'll round that up to. And the NASDAQ futures up by about 0.9% right now.
Yeah, the read through perhaps being that while the Fed's next interest rate increase at the end of the month is pretty much a foregone conclusion on the part of most investors, what happens beyond that could indeed be affected by this number and some of the other inflation numbers that will be coming. So that's something that we will be closely watching.